Recently, I brought all of you some different kind of content. Not all of you like that. Too bad. For the rest of you, thank you for sticking around and let's continue the discussion. Last week, we talked about the ridiculous transgender mice claim made by Mussolini's orange copy. Now that seemed to spark further discussion with this comment here. And at first, I have to admit I thought, great, another claim without any evidence. However, Timothy did provide a link to an article appearing in the Washington Examiner. I've posted that link in Discord, and links for that should be down in the description. I spent the better part of a live stream looking through all the evidences provided in this article, and I have come to the conclusion that no, we're not spending money to make mice transgender. Can't even believe we're having this conversation. However, should you wish to continue the discussion, leave me a comment and catch me in Discord. I actually do enjoy honest interactions. Thank you, Timothy, for providing that link. I know you came to the table looking for an honest interaction, and I truly appreciate that. Furthermore, and I want to be clear here, Timothy didn't provide this link as evidence supporting the claim. I don't think that's his position, but correct me if I'm wrong. So please don't attack Timothy. I want to encourage everyone to actively participate in these discussions. It's the only way we'll grow as a society. This story is strictly about something that I find interesting, so if you're not into heavy metal or Mastodon, just go ahead and skip ahead. Founding member Brent Hinds abruptly left Atlanta-based prog metal band Mastodon last week. Hinds spent the past 25 years crafting the sonic fury behind Mastodon with Troy Sanders, Bill Kellier, and Bron Daylor. Mastodon, currently on tour, tagged YouTuber Ben Teller to replace Hinds at Tool's Live in the Sand Festival in Punta Cana on March 9th. No announcements yet if this will be a permanent replacement or if Uncle Ben will even continue the tour. This just goes to show all of you haters out there that yes, big things can come from YouTube content creation. So get off my back, Ma. I'm just kidding. My mother has always supported my goofing off. I mean, incredibly hard work. Moving on, here we go again. Head of DOGE Elon Musk has faced huge backlash at his efforts to cut government spending. One big way that people have expressed their distaste for Musk is via a boycott of Tesla, which has resulted in a massive 47% stock value loss just since Trump has taken office. Trump responded using his crayon over at Truth Social, where he called the boycott collusively illegal. Two things here. One, the party of limited government thinking they can tell me how to not spend my money is hypocrisy personified. And collusively, does this guy even know how boycotts work? In Trump's infinite wisdom to help the poor performance of Musk and Tesla, Trump held a dog and pony show at the White House in order to buy a Tesla?
0 to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds. So faster than a Ferrari.
That's pretty fast. This is beautiful. Whoa! Should I get in?
Get in!
Okay.
What doesn't say questionable and wasteful, I mean, not to mention problematic because there's a conflict of interest there, like spending taxpayer dollars in order to buy your buddy's car?
They love the product, but because he's finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize him in an economic sense. And
Yes, Musk has cut a bunch of terrible things, like cancer research, the Department of Defense, the Environmental Protection Agency, Federal Aviation Administration, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, NASA, just to name a few. Meanwhile, Musk's companies have received over $38 billion in the past 10 years, with 2/3 of that coming in the past year alone. It's been reported that Tesla received a $400 million order for the abomination first seen here, the Cybertruck, also known as Quato's car. No conflict of interest there at all. Speaking of conflict of interest, anyone else notice how the targets of DOGE and Elon Musk just happen to be the same people and or agencies that are investigating Musk's companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink? For instance, the Department of Labor, which oversees the National Labor Relations Board and the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, and of course the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. All of those had over a dozen open investigations into Tesla and SpaceX regarding alleged unfair labor practices, safety violations, and discriminatory work practices. Let's take a look at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. where consumers have submitted over 300 complaints about Elon Musk's Tesla to the CFPB. 66 of these complaints were submitted in the last year. How about the Department of Transportation, which oversees the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Federal Aviation Administration? They had several open investigations into Tesla. FAA had recently ordered SpaceX to carry out a formal investigation into the loss of a Starship vehicle during a test flight, and previously ordered over $630,000 in civil penalties against SpaceX. I wonder what cutting those people at the FAA could have done. I wonder how bad that could have been. And these are just a few examples of Musk's conflicts of interest. I mean, seriously, it's like Schmittler's fuckboy over here is using DOGE as his own personal hit list. White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt clashed with AP reporter Josh Boak over tariffs.
Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have.
They
don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
To answer your question, Josh, no, she doesn't know shit about tariffs. Now, I know that's not the actual question that you asked, but it's the one that you were alluding to.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up.
Leavitt continued to double down on Donnie's complete lack of understanding of what a tariff is, so let's review. A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on imports or exports of goods primarily used as a form of foreign trade regulation and to potentially protect domestic industries. Who pays tariffs on imported goods? If you said the exporting country, you'd be wrong. Tariffs are collected by Customs and Border Protection. American companies, also known as importers, are responsible for paying tariffs on goods imported from other countries. So that high-definition TV that you're watching me on right now, you paid the tariff when you bought that from Walmart. Companies fold those costs into the goods that they sell. For a more recent example, look at the price of lumber during Donnie's first term. I mean, seriously, this isn't an arguable point. Now, if you want to say that imposing tariffs causing a trade war will eventually bring prices down, that's one thing. But to continue to regurgitate this nonsense that foreign companies pay tariffs is just stupid. And it also demonstrates that dishonesty is a core value. Leavitt also doubled down on Trump's war with the press, who continue to push back against his nonsense.
And our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. Mary, go ahead.
This is actual corruption. Threatening to chill a reporter simply because he's doing his job and giving you pushback, challenging you on the things that you don't understand, that is actual corruption. This also further demonstrates your authoritarian leaning, and it shows your lack of understanding what the First Amendment is and why it's important. Speaking of violations of the First Amendment, the Trump administration called for the jailing and deportation of Muhammad Khalil. Khalil, a legal permanent resident, was arrested for his peaceful participation in pro-Palestinian protests. I mean, I really do this to myself. Before you hit the comments, yes, permanent residents have First Amendment protections in the United States. Khalil did nothing illegal. He's here on a permanent green card in order to attend school. He did nothing except exercise his constitutionally protected rights as supported by the Supreme Court. I mean, seriously, if Trump was so worried about corruption, he would start with a man in the mirror. On Monday, U.S. District Court Judge Jesse Furman put a hold on his deportation unless and until the court orders otherwise. Maybe we can finally find people in power who will stand up to Trump. Finally, and here comes a sharp change in direction. If you need a break from all the doom scrolling that you often find yourself in this current economic and political climate, I've got the channel for you. Check out Drumio's For the First Time series. Now, this is a pull from Domino Here's Mastodon for the first time, and Domino Sant'Antonio has got to be one of the most fun drummers to watch. I mean, she's amazing. She's so talented, super talented. The way she's able to sit down, listen, and pick up the groove and stay so tight in the pocket. Get your mind out of the gutters. It's amazing. She's one of the many amazingly talented drummers that appear on Drumeo. Even if you're not a drummer, this content is fun to watch. The amount of respect given from one drummer to the next is truly inspiring. They continue to demonstrate what healthy competition looks like. So go check them out if you haven't already. I mean, link to Domino's video is going to be in the description below. And that's our show. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Let me know how much you did or didn't down in the comments below. As always, I'm Johnny O, and it's time for me to get out of here.